I've had the opportunity to work with some really interesting people, innovators, inventors, progressive people pushing at the boundaries of hypnosis since I've been doing this. And one of those people is a chap named Karl Smith.
Wow.
I first met Karl about 5 or 6 years ago, and what he was doing at the time was really interesting, and it was before Kinetic Shift came about, and it was he was just figuring out these things. And I've had an interesting time hanging out with Karl and working with him on all sorts of different projects ever since. So I thought it was about time I made a video about 5 things I've learned from Karl Smith. When I first started hanging out with Karl, started working with him, one of the things that impressed me was just how quickly he could get people responding hypnotically to his suggestions. It didn't take very long at all. Sometimes it seemed almost instant. And I understand some people are a bit disparaging about these things, and they think that these things are not appropriate for a therapist and that kind of thing. And I get that. That makes sense to me. However, what I also figured out, or what Karl showed me, was that sometimes that's totally appropriate in a therapy setting. Sometimes you don't want a long drawn out induction. You want to just get on with the therapy work, and you want to get on with the thing that you're actually there to do. So this is the first thing on my list of 5 things I learned from Karl Smith: speed. One of the things that a lot of therapists struggle with is the idea of charging for their work and knowing how much to charge. So one of the things that Karl's talked about extensively in his YouTube videos and in conversations that I've had with him is understanding that what we do is actually a very valuable thing. People will pay a lot of money for it, and understanding the value of what we do allows us to set an appropriate price. Even if we then decide that we're going to do free sessions or cut price sessions, that's then an intentional decision that we're deciding to help people. Hopefully the intent behind all therapy work is to help the client and to help them get the change that they want. So if you're not worrying about price, you can concentrate on those things. So this is the second thing on the list of things that I learned from Karl Smith: understanding the value of change. On a night out in Norwich, we were going, myself and Karl and a few other people, we were going from one place to another, and we were walking across this bridge. Karl was a few feet ahead of me. All of a sudden I saw this girl, her head drop down, and in a crowd of people walking between one club and another, Karl had hypnotized someone. So that told me something really interesting. In this group of people with music thumping and all sorts of things going on, Karl was still able to hypnotize people. And the thing that it taught me was the next thing on the list, which is hypnosis can happen anywhere. People get caught up in the idea of saying the magic words and choosing the induction and doing all the things to make it absolutely right and make sure that they're doing all the things that they're supposed to do to make sure this person goes into hypnosis. One of the things I've seen Karl do time and time again is battle against the elements, against the environment, against the surroundings. And what he showed me is that intent can get you all the way there, really. Just telling someone with the right intent, with the right congruence, with the right certainty that they are going to go into hypnosis, that can get you all the way. So this is the next thing on the list, is intent can get you all the way. So the final thing on the list is the thing that Karl is known best for, I guess, is Kinetic Shift. Kinetic Shift is a really interesting tool for rapid change. It can be done in almost any situation. It can be done with or without hypnosis, and it makes a massive difference to people in a very short amount of time. It's got elements of NLP in it, it's got elements of hypnosis in it, it's got elements of all sorts of different things that lots of people would recognize, but in and of itself, it's a system, it's a framework from which you can create all sorts of rapid changes for all sorts of issues. So that's the final thing on the list of 5 things I learned from Karl Smith: Kinetic Shift. So the final thing that's on my list of 5 things I learned off Karl Smith is actually bonus thing number 6, and that's that port is delicious. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, do all the usual things, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.